Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. How y'all doing on this wonderful Wednesday, June 1st? Can you believe it? We are into the 6th month of 2022. And, a lot of times when you sit back and you look at it, 2022, everybody got these goals. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to work out. I'm going to start saving money. I'm going to buy me a house. I'm going to get my finance in order. I'm going to, retire before I expire. With no further ado, here is Shateka. Take it away, Shateka.
All right, good evening, everyone. Shateka Husser, CEO of Husser Financial Solutions, where we help you retire before you expire. As Brian just mentioned, our goal really is to get your bank account on fire with a whole lot of lifetime tax-free retirement income that you will not outlive. And the number one challenge that people have is really just that outliving the money that they have, because people are living a whole lot longer with the advancements of medical technology. And so that's something that we have to keep in mind. Is your money going to be able to withstand, or are you going to have to go back to work? This is a real problem in the United States. This is a real problem. People are going back to work in their 70s, 80s, whatever the case may be, whatever they need to do to survive. But what if there was a way that you could actually put away enough money? So I am, full disclosure, a retirement consultant and a retirement coach. But tonight, I am not here to sell you anything. Any night that I'm on with Brian, I'm not here to sell you anything. My goal really is to do financial education. If you go to generationalwealthsymposium.com, you can see when I first started doing events, actually. And I paused it last year. But every year I've started to do financial education through events, through the radio, you name it, different social media platforms I'm on. And so the goal is just to educate our community, because my story is that I made a lot of money. However, I wish I would have known the information that I share with people today about how money works, so that they can keep more of it and they can literally go from generation to generations. You hear about generational wealth, but what most people don't know is, how do you do generational wealth? How do you position your money for tax-free retirement income? How do you make sure that your financial future is secure, as well as your children's children's children? And so I've been talking a lot about primarily, the steps to financial freedom. And so tonight, because we don't have a lot of time tonight, we're going to do more of a shotgun blast. If you still want watching the replay, go ahead and get out your notebook. We're going to quickly go over at least those steps to financial freedom tonight. But we're also going to talk a little bit about how you do retirement. And we're going to give you like the tip of the iceberg, if you will, because we have a short amount of time tonight. But let's give you the 6 steps, right? What are the 6 steps to financial freedom? So we're really clear about that. So number one, we want to make sure that you have some type of cash flow. Number one, you want to make sure that you have cash flow. What is cash flow? It's making sure that the money that you have circulating within your family, within your household, is sustainable. It's enough money to be able to keep you, for at least, approximately 6 months to a year, especially because of everything that we went through with the pandemic. Most people was not prepared for that. The average individual doesn't even have $1,000 or $400 to $1,000 in their bank account, let alone a whole year's worth of income. So how do you do that? We all know we have to be able to make money in our sleep, or else we'll be working for money all the days of our life, according to Warren Buffett, which is the billionaire himself, that I like to reference a lot, because a lot of his wisdom is what I glean from. And if we would just do some of those things, we would be okay, right? Most people live above their means. They're kind of flashy, and it doesn't require all of that. Be comfortable and make sure that you have enough to be able to live, for a certain amount of years, right? Or a certain amount of months, in the case that you lose your job or something happens with your business, or whatever the case may be. You're either a business owner or W-2. I often reference business owners, because let me tell you this really quickly. If you didn't know, the tax code is actually written for the business owner. I say that again. The tax code is written for the business owner. So in Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, he talks about the 4 quadrants. So if you're taking notes and you literally draw a square on your paper, you put a cross in the middle of that square where it touches all of the lines, you have 4 quadrants. To the top, left, and the bottom left, that's going to be more of your business owner. That's going to be more of your W-2 employee and self-employed. And then on the far right, top and bottom, it's going to be more of your investor and business owner. Okay. He said that most people are on the wrong side of money, the left side of the quadrant. Okay. Most people are in the W-2 or self-employed. Nothing wrong with that, but if that's all you're doing, you will have to work for money all the days of your life, unless you have your finances in order to where you're able to leverage the money that you're making. Okay, unless you're able to multiply your money in your sleep that you're making, you will have to work for money. Let's just be real clear there. So everybody's okay with that. Okay, so people say, well, I work so hard, and I just seem like I'm taking one step forward and two step back, because a lot of that taxes is your largest debt that most people overlook. Okay, it's not your house, not your car, it is your taxes. So if I can get you to save in your taxes, you can leverage that money. Okay, and so why is that important? Because the person on the left side of the quadrant, the W-2 employee and the self-employed, are paying a lot more taxes than the person on the right side of the quadrant, which is the business owner and investor, right? So they understand how to position that money, all right, so that the money, they can now be able to do tax write-offs very, very clearly. So, before the pandemic, it was about 475 tax deductions. Now it's like over 650 because of the pandemic. So there's a lot more tax deductions now, and people are just super excited about that. They want to take advantage of that, and they're learning about that. They're consulting with CPAs and tax providers and things of that nature. Tax advisors. I am not a tax advisor, so let me make that disclaimer. However, I help people position their money so that they can get tax-free income. And that's my specialty. That's the number one thing that I do with helping people. And you don't have to be wealthy to do that. Most people think that only, number 45 or however you want to call him, no offense to whoever, but whatever, the rich people know how to position their money so that they don't have to pay a whole lot of taxes. In fact, you're not paying any taxes. Okay, let's be clear about it. All right, so they don't put their money in anything that starts with a 4, right? So when we think about retirement, most people have their money in something that starts with a 4, which is actually a tax code. Go look it up. IRS tax code number 401k, okay? 403B, 457, 414, okay? TSP, IRA, those are tax codes. Understand that these are tax codes, meaning that they are a qualified plan. What is a qualified plan? It is qualifying you to have to pay taxes in the future. But what if there was a way that you did not have to put your money inside a qualified plan, but you could put your money in something that's going to be growing tax-free, right? Or tax deferred, okay? However, you could call it to be tax-free because you never have to pay taxes if you know how to play the game and how to play the money game, right? And it's a big game for some, but it really is about how money works. It's understanding how it works. So let's talk about that's step number 1, cash flow. How do you increase your cash flow? You're going to figure a way to have passive income. And so there are tools out there that's going to help you do just that, right? Such as tax-free income. Let's talk about any type of life policy. Yes, I am a life insurance broker. However, I want to tell you there's a lot of different ways that you can make money besides life insurance. Okay, I have my money in a lot of other assets besides life insurance. I have my money in real estate. Okay, I have my money in stocks. I have my money in crypto personally. But I'm not advising you today. Today, I want to make sure we're clear that nothing that I'm telling you is financial advice. It's the financial facts and opinions, okay? Opinion being me and what I do based on my personal portfolio, but also facts. The fact is that cash flow is going to be something that you can have that's going to be able to allow you some financial security so that you don't have to live from check to check. When the check by the end of the week, your money is gone because you have enough money. And let's just be clear, this is primarily I should say, an African American station here, right, on YouTube. So if that be the case, there is a wealth gap of $118,000, all right, in terms of finances in our household per year than it is with our Caucasian sisters and brothers, all right. So let's be clear, there is a gap. And how do we close that gap? With financial literacy, financial education, making sure we understand how money works, and positioning our money. So I just gave you number 1, the first step, right, to how to get yourself financially free, making sure that you make money in your sleep. What way could you do that? Making sure you have your money inside a product that's going to be able to compound for you. Okay. Let's be clear that your money can compound on a lot of different things. However, if you need that money, going to step number 2, how to make sure that you have some type of emergency fund. Step number 2, if you're taking notes, emergency fund. We talked about it already in step number 1, cash flow. But having that, 3 to 6 is what they say, but I like to say a year, especially if you are becoming a business owner. If you're already on your job, I never tell people to leave their job to start a business. Make sure that your business is already, your income is already replacing what it is that you're making on your W-2 as much as possible, okay? Because being a business owner or entrepreneur is not for the weak, it's for the strong. And if you don't know how you're going to do and how you're going to fare out, let's be clear. You can do both, okay? Your job, your W-2 can be your sponsor until you're ready. All right, that's wisdom. Okay, you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, step out on faith." I am a faith walker. Everybody that know me know I'm a faith walker. Okay, but I do believe in wisdom as well. Be wise as a serpent, as harmless as a dove. Okay, and so He gives us the power to have wealth. He gives us the power to have wisdom. Okay, and so you're going to need a sponsor, especially in the beginning years of your being a business owner, so that you can use your W-2 to sponsor your business. Okay, at the end of the day. All right, now if you feel like you can do it, jump out here and do what you got to do. If you want to jump out into the deep, launch out into the water, I don't want you to drown. So I just want you to make sure that you at least have that 1 year cushion, that emergency fund. And let's say you don't want to do business. You just as adamant as you can be that you're not going to be a business owner. Okay. Nothing wrong with that, but you just have to understand that your money that you make needs to be inside a product that's going to be able to make money for you while you're sleeping, like your business would have done for you. Okay. Rather that's, a life insurance policy. Let me tell you why a life insurance policy is something that people are using now, because you can literally take the money out of the life insurance policy and use it for your emergency, and the money still compound inside your policy as if it never left. Let me give you a quick game. People are taking their money out of their policy, cash value, that's growing tax-free. Let's be clear about it. And they're doing things such as a Turo business, an Airbnb business. They're flipping properties, okay? They're doing a lot of different other types of investments to grow their money, but their money is still growing tax-free as if it never left inside certain types of policies, okay? I'm not here to sell you a policy. I'm just here to educate you on how they work and why the wealthy put their money in these types of products. Because number one, your money is protected from lawsuits, okay? That's going to be later on in the steps to financial freedom. But they want their money to be what? They want their money to be able to grow and be an emergency fund. So some of you have your emergency fund under your pillow and your mattress and your bank account. It is not competing with inflation in any of those areas. You need your money to compete with inflation. Inflation is at 8.5% this right now, going into 15% by the end of the year. If your money is not making at least that, you are becoming poorer and poorer, and you're part of that wealth gap at $118,000 a year that we're talking about. So you need your money to grow while you're sleeping, and you need it to be able to compete with inflation. Number two, okay? So your emergency fund needs to be being an account that will do just that. And if it's not doing that, then you're doing yourself a disservice, your family a disservice, the next generation a disservice. So let's be clear about it. How could you make that happen? How could you make that work? Okay. So number two was what? Anybody that's watching? What was number one? What was number two? I'm looking in the chat. I can see, got my glasses on tonight. Okay. So we got a few more minutes and then we're going to move on. But yeah, so I want to make sure we have number one, cash flow. Number two, we're going to have an emergency fund. Okay. All right. And then, so going into, and I don't see any questions, but you guys need to go ahead and start asking your questions now, because we literally have about another 10 minutes and then we're going to have to wrap things up. Okay. So that we're really, really clear. All right. So number one, we said we're going to make sure that we have cash flow. Number two, we want to make sure that we have our emergency fund. And then number three is going to be debt, right? Debt management. All right. So we're not talking about consolidating debt. We're talking about eliminating debt. People are using these policies as well to eliminate their debt. No matter what type of debt you have, the cash value that grows inside this account that's tax-free, they're taking that money that's the growth, and they're paying off these high interest loans, whether it be a student loan or a mortgage loan. No matter what debt you have, you can actually structure your policy to pay all of your debt off in 7 to 9 years, no matter what type of debt you have, whether it's a mortgage, a car, student loans, whatever. There is a way to pay your debt off, and people are using these policies to do just that. Different types of policies do different things. We have to know what it is that you're trying to do in the beginning so that we can position your money properly so that you can meet the goal that you're trying to accomplish, rather it's retirement, debt elimination, not consolidation, because consolidation is a band-aid. It's basically, paying some type of creditor, some type of agency a lot more money to be able to help you to consolidate your debt, right? To get you a different interest rate. But at the end of the day, what if you can just eliminate that interest rate by paying it off with cash value that's building up inside of your policy, because you have an aggressive strategy to put more money away, come below your means, not live above your means, and be able to save. People say, "Oh, I can't save any money," but what if I can get your money to work twice for you? Because number one, you're going to be able to pay off your debt with the money that you put in it, right? It's a long-term game. It's not a short-term game, but it's a great gain, right? Because at the end of the day, that's money that you own. You can use for collateral. It's as if it never left your policy. At the same time, the list goes on. All right. And so number three, you want to make sure you have some type of debt elimination plan, rather as a policy or whatever you wanted to go to. You got a plan in place. I like to tell people as much as possible, figure out how you can save 50% of your paycheck or your income until you are meeting your goals that you're at. How do you do that? You're going to have a budget. I know that's the ugly, sinful word people don't like to hear, a budget, but it will help you. Okay. What it does is it gives you vision. It tells your money where to go. If you don't give your money a vision, if you don't give your money a plan, if you don't give your money direction before it comes to you, your money is already spent. Hello, somebody. Let's be clear about it. Go ahead, Brian. I see you. You can chime in if you like to.
No, I like that, because once again, like, look what the information that you're giving us. A lot of times right now, we don't quite understand. We feel like, we want to do a lot of things. Nobody want to not be prepared for retirement. Nobody want to be 70, 80, 90 years old trying to get out there and be a Walmart greeter. So based upon the simple
no shade to the Walmart greeter, because no shade, but
no shade,
that should be an option, not that you have to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So even with that being said, it's like, where I got a person that had the knowledge, that had the time, that's coming on my platform to share this information for FREE, free. You trying to retire. Teach us how to retire before we expire for FREE. And to me, those are things that you got to take advantage of, because once again, anybody can say, I didn't know. But guess what? If you tune in, you know.
That's true. That's true. And so I wish somebody would have shared this with me. I'm literally just trying to be that person for the individual that's looking for, say, a financial coach or someone that needs that information. I'm just going to give you the high level. This is what you need to do. Take notes, take action. I can teach all day long. You can say, hi, I appreciate this all day long. But if you don't take action, you're going to be in the same place you were today, 10 years from now. So what actions are you going to take from the notes that you're taking today? And every time we have these conversations, you can ask questions. I'm going to answer to the best of my ability. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm very direct. You guys know I'm very transparent. My background, as you can see, so I don't play a whole lot of games when it comes to people's money. I want to tell you truthfully and honestly what it is that you can expect. All right. I can't make a miracle out of your money. I'm not a magician, but what we can do is have a strategy and use wisdom with our money. And that is, what are you using your money on? And do you need to be using your money on that right now? Can you afford to cut back? I'm not talking about saving, because you can't save your way to wealth. Let's be clear about it. You're going to have some type of strategy to make money in your sleep. All right. And there's a lot of different tools and strategies. We're going to be talking about more of that as the days, the weeks go on. But tonight, I'm going to always lay the foundation before I get into anything, because you may be this may be the first time you've encountered me on this program, on this platform. So I want to make sure that you know what I know, the basic foundation of the information. All right. And I am starting to put some stuff on my own YouTube, just shameless plug. I'm putting that out there because I want to make sure people are getting the information, and I'll be dropping some more stuff every week by Wednesday night late. All right. So either way, number one, cash flow. Number two, emergency fund. Number three is going to be your debt management. And then, of course, you want to make sure that we have the proper protection. All right. So let's talk about your money right now. You can protect your money that's inside every type of account. Okay. The thing that the wealthy do very well is that you will not get their money, all of it. If you sue somebody today, the wealthy, you're not going to get all their money, because they're going to have their money inside some type of policy. Okay. The bank has their money in policy. Corporations have their money in policies because they want their money protected. Okay, 100% protected. Why? Because the court system cannot see what you have inside of your policy. They cannot see that. Rather, it's the IRS coming for your money, your spouse coming for your money. Let's say you had a policy already before you got married and they coming for your money. They cannot type, the courts cannot see what's inside of your policy. So people hide money in policies. So much so that there's anti-money laundering laws that we have to research and understand so that we know what money laundering looks like. Okay. So the number one place people hide money is inside of a policy, but it protects. Okay. And so that's the fourth step in terms of how you're going to make sure you're financially free, protecting your money. But also number two of that protection, not just from lawsuits, protect your money from this huge roller coaster that we're on. And it comes to the market, the stock market, whatever market you're in. If your money is in any of those types of markets, if your money is tied in the market, you are playing Russian roulette with your money. Now, the younger you are, the more free you are to be able to do that, because you can hopefully rebound your money within your lifetime because you have enough years ahead of you. But the older you become, the less risk you should be taking on, because you may not ever absorb that back. If you may not bounce back in your lifetime. You hope you rebound and get that 50% that you lost in your account, or 20 or whatever percent. So the older you are, the less risk averse you should be, so that you can have more money for retirement, and not play Russian roulette inside the market. Okay. So you want your money protected. And of course, some type of policy could do that. If you have your money, some type of, like, say, whole life policy, you're going to do between 3 and 5%, very, low income there. But it is protected. If you have your money, say, an IUL, depending on the IUL, the carrier you with, this is super important. Take this note, because it depends on the carrier you with. You want to make sure that the participation rate, write that word down, participation rate of the product that you have is at least at about 100%. So whatever that is, in other words, participation rate, meaning that whatever the market does in terms of the S&P 500, your carrier is going to credit your account based off a certain percentage of what the market did. Okay. So if your participation rate is only 66%, and that carrier comes to mind that I know who does that, you don't want your money in that, because it's not going to grow. It's going to take you three more years to get to the person that has their money saved with a carrier that has, say, 115% participation rate. 66% participation rate versus 115% participation rate is huge. Big difference, right? So understanding, what is the performance of that policy, of that carrier? What have they been doing? So you can go and research AM Best, Standard, and Poor, and then they will tell you how they've been performing. Okay, whatever policy you have, but you want to know based off of that, what is their rating? Are they A rating, an F rating, those types of things? Because you want your money protected. Okay, so yes, the carriers are the number one place that people put their money in, because they know that they are the insurance. They are going to win no matter what. I don't care what nobody say. They are going to win. Okay, but you still can get a piece of the pie as someone that's participating with them. And so that's why banks go to them. That's why corporations go to them. It's something called a BOLI, BOLI, and a corporation, COLI, corporate owned life insurance, bank owned life insurance. That's how they blow up their money, from millions to billions to trillions, because that money is being multiplied in their sleep through a carrier. Okay. And you're doing the same thing. So you're playing on the same terms as the bank. Okay. Your money's protected, which is number 4, from what? Lawsuits and what? Anybody in the chat? Anybody chatting with us tonight? Anybody chatting with us tonight? I said lawsuits. And what's the second thing I said? Anybody chatting with us tonight?
Very few.
All right. So lawsuits was number 1. And I'm just looking to see the first person. Let's just see the first person. I'm going to give you a trip. Accommodation only trip. That's how much I want to make sure that you're paying attention tonight. Accommodation only trip. I will give you if you can tell me what the second part of that protection is. I said protection from lawsuits and protection from what? Nobody got it tonight, but maybe you'll get it to next time. market volatility. I said protect your money from the waves. Remember we talked about, the waves and the roller coaster ride of losing your money in the market because the market dropped significantly and you lost your money in the market. No, you don't have to worry about that, but you can still have your money to what? Parallel the performance of the S&P 500 minus whatever fees that carrier is charging. Okay. And so we want to make sure your money is protected. And so that's one of the things we want to do. Now, number 5, if you're taking notes, number 5 is going to be build wealth. Build wealth. You want to make sure that you are building wealth. And how you do that is making sure, again, that you are understanding how money works. You're going to make sure that you're multiplying your money inside your account as much as possible. You're going to make sure that you're looking at the taxes, okay, and tax preservation. And that's one of the things that we want to make sure that you are doing, because if your money's not outpacing inflation and you're not making sure that your money is not being taxed significantly, then you're not building wealth. Bottom line, point blank, period, right? So that is number 5. And then number 6 is we want to make sure that you're going to have your preservation of your wealth. Do you have your money inside something, say a trust? I am not any type of attorney, estate planning attorney. I do have some people that I know of, but at the end of the day, the trust is how people are making sure that they keep the money circulating like the Rockefellers, okay, with the money inside their account. All right, they're structuring all type of sophisticated, irrevocable trusts and things of that nature. We're not going to go too deep into that, but we want to make sure that you understand how preservation of wealth, we talked about preservation when we talked about make sure you have the protection. That's preservation of wealth. Number 6 was preservation of wealth. You want to make sure that you have your money multiplied for you and it's preserved not only for you, but the next generation. So you have a proper structure for that at the end of the day. And you really want to make sure that you have some type of professional money manager helping you with your money as much as possible if you don't know how to do money, or at least giving you something. Now, I do have a free guide that I give people. If you go to Shateka.com, you can go ahead and download a free guide that I have. It's a workbook that you'll be able to fill out so that you'll be able to be clear on all the steps. And that workbook is going to help you with a lot of it's like 13 different things that it talks about inside there to help you position yourself for retirement. So go ahead and go to Shateka.com. Husser.com has everything that you can take a look at as well. But Shateka.com is just a short, just all my links, that important links that you will have. But Shateka Husser, you can see a lot more information. You can see the blog. You see, even tonight we have something set up where you can be able to do a webinar on Wednesday nights with me to make sure that you understand. I have a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation that I go over with you as well. But we are out of time, so I just wanted to end with that. But 99 retirement tips. I just gave you 6 tips to begin with, because I want you to get yourself on a sure financial footing, okay, a good foundation. So those 6 steps that I just told you is the first 6 of the 99 retirement tips that we'll be talking about over the next few weeks. All right, so we don't have a whole lot more time. We are out of time, but definitely want you to make sure that you connect. I'm turning back over to you, Brian, because I know we are out of time. I want to be respectful of everyone's time tonight.
Yeah, time is everything or whatever. We got a few people that came out, what I'm saying? Somebody say, I have to do my homework. I put somebody came up with an IRS up there. Just Blaze. I feel like a demon getting holy water splash on with all this knowledge you're giving. See, that's a blessing, because once again, you want people out there listening. You see what that say?
Yeah. And I see RC. I see your question asking about how do you decide between a 401k and insurance and things of that nature. Well, a 401k is going to have 3 challenges that come along with it. I have a 401k that I later learned about. Well, people say, oh, the free money. And I've been having this conversation. I have a platform that can show you how, an IUL will outperform a 401k long term. Even if you have a match, I don't care what the match is, it will outperform it for 3 reasons. And I'm going to give you the 3 reasons that it will outperform it. And these are facts. I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm giving you facts. The 401k and all employer plans are about 30 to 50% higher in fees. So that's less money that you'll have in retirement. Number 1. Okay. Number 2, they are qualified plans, qualifying them to have to pay taxes in the future. In other words, you're going to pay taxes at possibly the higher rate, right? Because we understand that tax. If I was to ask you, do you feel like taxes are going to go up in the future? 99.999% of people are going to say yes. Taxes are going to go up in the future. So would you rather pay taxes on the seed or the harvest? Okay, on the seed or the harvest. Which one would you want to pay your taxes on? So people don't want to pay their taxes on the harvest. So they want to go ahead on and get in front of that, pay the taxes, go ahead and get their money positioned into something that's going to be able to grow tax free. All right. Now, number 3, we just talked about it, market volatility. People are losing $30,000, $300,000 inside their 401k and TSP and IRA and Roth IRA. They're losing money in all these types of accounts. 457, 43, you name it, they're losing money in the pension plans. They're losing money. And here's the deal. If you know anything about trading or, the trend analysis, and I do because I traded for a couple of years, we are in a market correction period. Okay. We expect continued market correction because what goes up has to come back down. It's just a matter of how much down is it going to come? And will you be able to absorb that in your lifetime? Why go through that if you don't have to? When you know better, you do better, you get in front of it like the wealthy do, because Warren Buffett rule number 1 and 2 is to never lose money. Okay. Rule number 1 and 2 is to never lose money. And what the wealthy are not losing money. They're not going to lose money, and they don't put their money in anything that starts with a 4. All right. Because they're educated. That's why there's $118,000 wealth gap annually between the African-American community and the Caucasian community. We think everything is skeptical. We think we're like skeptics, right? And that's why our bank account look like that. We have skeptic bank accounts. But the wealthy, they educate themselves. They don't think everything is skeptic. They make a decision and they move on. You got to make a decision. All right. I'm here to help, not to hurt. Rather you come with me or someone else. I'm not trying to sell you. I'm just trying to educate you. This is how money works. Okay. You can go and get the book, The Power of Zero, written by David McKnight. That's a resource. Okay. Or you can go get another book, IUL ASAP. Okay. You could go there. My person that brought me into the business, she wrote that book. I'm in the process of writing me a book. Okay. Because I understand how money works on a different whole level. Okay. Based on where I came from. I was born into poverty, but I said I wasn't going to die there. I wasn't educated myself. It's not enough to make a lot of money. Don't know how to position it. So that's a great question. 401k versus, thank you for asking that question, because you need to understand why, and a lot of people doing 401k, they don't even get in a match. So they're really hurting themselves. So at the end of the day, thank you for that opportunity to really educate everyone, Brian. I do have that resource, free resources, I should say. Number 1, you can get that retirement planning guide by going to Shateka.com, or you can go to ShatekaHusser.com, sign up for my next webinar on Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday, and we'll get you the information that you need. You can be able to ask questions. That is your consultation. All right. So you can get into that webinar ask your questions there. All right. I think I answered all questions. Not, you're done speaking.
Hey, everybody, thank y'all for joining us. And as you say, right now is what me and Shateka decide to do. We're going to do this weekly. And when we do this weekly, what we're going to do is she's going to go over the 99 step. So how many steps did you cover today, young lady?
I did 6 tonight.
So 6. So that mean right now is you can look at this for a recap, but she got 93 more steps to go. So only thing we ask you right now is, like I told you, join my platform. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button, subscribe, share. And not only that, she have a YouTube channel. What is your YouTube channel, Station?
It's my name, actually. And let's be clear, it's 99 tips. But tonight I gave you 6 steps, which is 6 tips. But they're not all going to be steps. They're going to be tips. But I want you to take action. No matter what, take action somewhere. Just take action. I don't care who you go with. Just take action. People don't take enough action. And that is the reason why their bank account look the way it looks. You got to figure out a budget for yourself. You need to make sure that you have an idea of what you have coming in, what you have going out. IUL stands for Index Universal Life. In other words, any index product, Index Universal Life or Index Annuity, we provide both of those. Those products will help you to not participate in the market when the market goes down, but to participate in the market when the market goes up. So you will always get more, but you will never lose when you have an index, when you have your money inside an index product, such as an Index Universal Life Policy, IUL, or an index annuity. An index annuity is not for the person that needs the liquidity. It's not for that person. Okay. When you hear people say, I'm living off the interest of my money, they primarily have an annuity. They have a big pot of money somewhere and they only take this. Social Security is an annuity. It's not one that you design, but it's an annuity. Okay. The same concept. So you can design your own annuity. In other words, you're buying money in the future. You're taking care of your older self because you have self love. You're taking care of your older self. Retirement is not an age, retirement is an income, and you're going to design an income. All right. So that's all I have.
Hey, once again, everybody, thank you for joining us. I truly, truly appreciate it. And as you can see, go to Shateka.com for your free retirement workbook. So all the information is definitely there. Okay. Hey, good night. Saint turning. What time we gonna be back? What time we gonna be back next Wednesday?
The goal is to be here at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Eastern
But you,
Standard Time.
but we always know life happen. Things do happen. Things do take place. So the objective is we're gonna try. We're gonna be here between 7 and 8. So that's the objective. But we'll try
Absolutely.
to notify everybody ahead of time. But anyway, folks, like I say, thank you for joining us. Tune in next week. Until then, y'all have yourself a blessed rest of the week. Peace, love, and prosperity. I love you. Shateka love you. God love you.
Absolutely. God bless.